detected.
A
Easy.
specialization supply drop has been arranged for you.
I need some cover. I need some help.
About to come online. Rogue artillery turret detected.
Are you going to come on the roof all the game?
Put sunglasses on.
Oh, that's a sense of humor.
I sense specialization.
Rogue explosives. Rogue Stinger Hive detected.
What's up agents, Patrick Wolf here. Welcome to another Division 2 build video. Today's video is going to be the max RPM build. If you are looking for a very strong PvP build with huge amounts of damage and quite fun to use, frankly, this is going to be the perfect video for you and build. Let's get straight into the specialization. Before we do, make sure to leave a like, subscribe. If you guys want to support the channel, click on the links below for the merchandise and to become a member on my Discord channel through YouTube. Let's go into the specializations. But another thing to quickly note is all my builds are templates for you guys to work upon. Adapt them to suit your own playstyles. Don't just copy them. I aim to give ideas and to motivate people to try different things. This build is going to be huge amounts of damage, high crit damage, as much RPM as we possibly can get without sacrificing utility. And this is going to be an all red build for the Dark Zone conflict. It's more suited towards PvP. Burst damage is the main objective of this build, so we're going to go through it now. I have chosen Technician. You can go for Firewall, which would be also quite strong because of the shield that gives you damage. The Striker, if you want to be focusing on the shield isn't too strong on this build, so I wouldn't recommend it. Technician is really good. Reason being is because you get an extra skill tier, which does actually add towards the shield if you do want to use a shield, and also any other skill you use, like even a disruptor, to get rid of skills, because skills are our weakness. Any kind of status build will damage us quite badly, so just remember that. This will help us get rid of them as fast as possible. Or the hive that actually cleanses status effects could be utilized, the booster hive, so make sure to keep that in mind. SMG is what we're going to be using, and assault rifle. I recommend it because of the ones that we have. Now, if you don't have the weapons that I'm going to showcase, it's fine. You can use whatever you want, just with similar talents. Obviously, except Perfect Allegro, which only rolls perfect for some reason. The previous game, we had normal Allegro, so we're going to go through that now. This is going to be the build. Now, I don't normally use clutch anymore in this game. Obliterate is in my opinion, the best chess piece damage talent currently in the game. I will be doing a full damage build for PvE as well, probably before tomorrow ends. So we are going to be trying to get as much RPM as possible. The reason why I've got clutch is, we'll probably explain that in detail when we get to the bag, but this build works extremely well. Clutch actually keeps me alive. I've had a lot of 1v1s where I thought I was a goner. I was like, oops, this guy has Unbreakable, and I'd be shooting him, and honestly, it kept me alive. I think the deceiving thing is that, you know, people think that you don't receive 100% of your armor back, which you don't unless you get a kill. But with one magazine, with 35% extra RPM because of Perfectly Measured, that gives us 20%, and then Striker, which gives us another 15, so that's 20 plus 15, 35% RPM on a gun that hits for 121k damage and just under 1000 RPM with 50 bullets. Just a quick little side note, Perfectly Measured, you actually will never see the bottom half of the mag anyway, because the player will die. If you have 2 million armor, the first half of this clip will kill you, and if it doesn't, it's because you're not hitting your shots or you're too far away. Obviously some players might have certain mitigations like shields, then maybe a clip or two, but the great thing about this build is if you play this smart, you can get rid of players extremely quickly, and it's a blast to use. So we are quite squishy. Just remember that you cannot go around running going for players like in the open. You got to play a bit smarter. It requires you to be a bit patient. I think if you're a console player and you want a really strong face tanking build, this is it. You're probably wondering, you know, blues are quite strong in the game right now, but you can actually get rid of the player before he can even do anything. Armor regen gets eaten away by this build. I think that's the nice thing about it. There's a lot of shields and armor regen going around. This eats through the bulwark shield in 2 clips, and the clips go by pretty fast. I'll be surprised if someone doesn't run out of ammo when they're playing like a conflict match, for example. So we're going to go through the build now. 726k armor, 726,000, 100,000 armor. So we're quite squishy. 330k health, 1 skill tier. The apartment is a very, very nice SMG. Perfectly measured, works well with this build because clutch, you know, the more we crit, the more that we heal ourselves to 20% while we're face tanking a player. And this allows us to actually get the rate of fire even higher. So there's more crits from the magazine, which in turn gives us way more armor back. Normally, True Patriot works well with clutch, but this is going to work better with Striker. Because with True Patriot, we're not getting that extra RPM, so this measured actually just elevates it a lot more, and I really do enjoy it. The gun is great. It's a really good weapon. If you guys want to farm it, I believe it's only obtained in the Dark Zone. I'm sure guys in the comments will just correct me because this game changes all the time. So make sure when you mod it, all you're going to do is try and get this beautiful magazine, plus 20 rounds. It's important. Extended 9mm magazine. Go farm control points and projects, and hopefully you get it. Then crit damage. Make sure you roll crit chance and crit damage mods over here. Put them on. It's completely dependent on how much crit chance you have. So just go to your stats and go over there and double check. I do have 60. Then I take a mod off, a crit chance mod off. And if I'm like at 58, 57, I'll put that back on. So that's how I check it. So yeah, let's just go over measured again. So the whole point of this build is to get our crits as fast as possible whilst healing ourselves as fast as possible. But clutch is just a backup. We mostly just want to go for full-on damage. So fast RPM. The top half of the magazine has a 20% rate of fire. That's plus 15 from Striker, 35%, which is going to be huge in conjunction with clutch. We get minus 27% weapon damage. But the thing about this build as well is we don't need to mitigate the weapon damage because it's all about crit, healing from clutch, and, you know, the critical hit damage is, I think on this, you can get it higher, but I've got about 120%, which is really nice considering how much base damage we actually have anyway. So I don't feel this at all. And normally measured is a tricky one, but it's very strong in this patch, especially because there's ways to mitigate the damage loss. We haven't used it too much, but I guess the 25% from Obliterate comes really quickly because of the RPM as well. So everything just kind of fits. It's like a puzzle. Everything just fits in nicely and works together really well. The bottom half, which I don't really ever really see, to be honest, it's nice to finish players off because I hit 700,000 damage per bullet on the second half of the mag. The bottom half of the magazine is minus 20% rate of fire and 33% total weapon damage. So we're going to be increasing our weapon damage, so our crits will be higher as well. They won't be as high, but it's really nice because if we don't crit, which happens 40% of the time, you're going to be dishing out quite a bit of damage. I don't want to get too much into it. The whole fact of the matter is it's fun to use, and it has worked for me. You know, some things on paper don't, you know, they may make sense, but in practice they don't, and that's what I found. I've scrapped 3 builds this week. That's why I haven't posted many builds, because I've had to scrap a few because they looked amazing. They just didn't work. So this one just works. The first 2 matches I played, I got over 10 kills. So it's really strong. That's, you know, it's up to you guys to give it a try and let me know in the comments what you think of it as well. Damage to targets out of cover is very important in the attribute. Then the secondary is going to be the invisible hand, which is also very nice. If you want an assault rifle, I've got a god roll one here. Damage targets out of cover with perfect allegro. That's another 12% rate of fire. Very high base damage. The RPM isn't as high as the invisible hand of the apartment, but we don't have that weapon damage loss. So it's nice to swap between both of them. Now I could have potentially put Fenris knee pads, but trust me, damage targets out of cover is too strong, and it goes really well with the attributes that we actually have on the weapons. You can have whatever pistol you want. I'm not really worried about that. I wouldn't even use that at all. It's just there to pretty much to show off because I've got the regulars. Hopefully, let me know in the comments if anyone's got the regulars. Put an R in the comments if anyone has the regulars. So let's go through the pieces now. The 3-piece striker is, you know, I used to put out 3-piece striker builds quite a while ago, and I think they're getting quite popular now. I really do enjoy it. The weapon handling is also nice because the accuracy of the weapons that I'm using aren't the greatest, especially the assault rifle. So this will be very good. 15% weapon handling. The rate of fire, like I said, is very important. Then what I've done is rolled crit damage, and then all my mods I've put crit damage. 12%, 11.8 on both of those there. So just make sure your crit chance and crit damage is up high. That's what we want to be doing. We're not focusing on headshot damage, which would also be good, but it's completely up to you. So the chest piece is Sokolov concern with Obliterate. Weapon handling as well, which is also good. Crit damage, weapon damage. So we are, well, to be fair, in about a mag and a half, we get this fully maxed out. So critical hits increase total weapon damage by 1% for 5 seconds, stacks up to 25 times, 25% weapon damage. That pretty much mitigates the whole talent from that's removing our damage. So 27, we're getting 25 back, so it's not too bad. A Sokolov gives us 10% SMG damage, which is the best. That's what we want to also make up for as well. So the holster, once again, crit chance. Then the gloves, we're going to go with the gloves first. Crit chance there, weapon damage. Knee pads, Fox's Prayer. That's it, straight and simple. Crit chance rolled there. Because of the damage stocks out of cover, one of the best in slot for damage in this game. Okay, let's go over how everything works. So with clutch, I need to explain this to you guys because some people don't really understand how this works. So the one-piece Cheska is nice because we get crit chance, which helps us achieve the max crit chance. We can put crit damage mods. It doesn't really matter, but I've got a really nice one with headshot damage, critical hit damage, weapon damage. Perfect clutch because this is the devil's due. Try get this in the DZ if you can. If you are below 20% armor, this is what makes this so strong, because you have to get a kill to be able to heal your armor all the way to 100. But the first 20% armor, you need to crit. So critical hits repair 2.5% missing armor. Okay, so each critical hit repairs that much. Now just imagine how high our RPM is and how many crits we will be obtaining. It's quite scary. There is a bit of RNG involved, but I just see my armor just shoot up. The thing is, it's very hard to gauge because it's only the first 20% that really keeps you from getting your health, your armor being pushed down by the enemies, especially in phase trades. But the thing is as well, is if you get a kill, oh boy, you can heal all the way up to 100% armor in 2 magazines. And it lasts for up to 10 seconds. Well, it'll be 10 seconds because we have all red on this build. That's why it's good to spec into red core attributes. If you have any comments or any thoughts and you want to question me, just have a look in the comment section, pop them in there. Hopefully some of my viewers can also help, and I will reply as many comments as I can to help you guys if you don't understand what I'm saying. So just make sure you give it a try. There are other options here that I want to talk about because clutch is not for everyone. Some people it might not work, especially if you don't have 60% crit chance for some reason. There's other things you can use. You can use vigilance if you want. If you want some extra survivability, you could even use adrenaline rush and intimidate. You know, I'm sick of seeing builds like that. I don't want to post that, but adrenaline rush, intimidate with this setup would be good. It would be very strong, but I promise you, give clutch a try. I'm not saying it's crazy strong because it isn't, but I like it because it just allows me to get my armor up because I have no armor regen and I have no healing, and I don't want to spec into that. I've spec'd all the way into just raw RPM base raw RPM crit damage, and it's fun. And this thing's like it's like an Uzi. It's really fun. It's really, you know, it's one of the funnest builds I've used damage wise in this game. It is tricky to use as well. I wouldn't really recommend using it long range. That's why I tried between the two weapons here. This definitely has more damage. Some people on paper would say, well, if you calculate this and calculate that, it doesn't make sense, but it just feels good, and it just melts. Even at NPCs, I tried it. The damage, you can get a heroic NPC down in 1 mag. It's scary. So let's go through the skills. So I'm using the Jammer Pulse. Use whatever you want. Obviously, I want to get skills away because that is my weakness. I get destroyed from skills and fire, so not good. Fire, not good. So Hive, the Booster Hive is probably what I would also run. This cleanses status effects, so make sure to try and utilize this if you can. You're going to have to be fast though, because if you get put on the burn by a maxed out Eclipse build, you're not going to be happy. The shield, this does actually last a bit because you don't need a lot of time to get the player down. But what you could potentially do is put a Bulwark shield on and use the pistol. Now, that's another option, but I didn't really want to do that in the clips that I got. I've only recently made this build, so I'm still testing it a lot. So hopefully I could, you know, I want to get this build out as fast as possible because this is more of a fun build. If you go up against a max armor DPS assault rifle build, you will absolutely destroy them from close range, but you need to remember that this build requires a certain playstyle, and I'm sure from what I've explained, you can kind of figure out what that is. Peeking corners from close range, that's the best way to do it. So the stats, we've got some pretty decent stats here. 60% crit chance, 120 crit damage, headshot damage is 80%. I would have liked some armor damage. Lady Death is something you could potentially put on. The burst damage would be really good with Lady Death. You could actually absolutely shred people with Lady Death, so give that a try. Hold on, let me just go through it in case you guys want to pause, but there's not really too much interesting stats here. There we go. So another quick little side note, I don't think I've got True Patriot on me, but True Patriot is a very good gear set to run with clutch as well, because it actually increases the healing that you obtain. But the problem is, and I'm going to show you right now why I didn't use it now. So the white buff from True Patriot, shooting the enemy repairs the attacking agent's armor by 2% once every second. 2%, we are getting 2.5% healing every crit, and because we got such high RPM, we don't need to worry about that at all. That's why I've chosen Strike'em over this. But if you're having like a slow firing weapon and you don't want to use the RPM side of things and maybe go for more blues, the blues would scale better with the healing that you get. 2.5 plus another 2, that's 4.5 armor a second, and obviously it's situational because it'll be 2.5 per crit and then 2% per second. So it really stacks well, so just keep that in mind if you want to give it a try. I have made builds in the past with a True Patriot clutch, but it's completely up to you guys. So let me know what you think in the comments of this build. Are you going to adapt? How are you going to adapt it to change to suit to the build that you want to be using? Are you going to try True Patriot as well? Comments down below, make sure to pop them in there. Also guys, I've made a second channel for Cyberpunk 2077. It's coming out 19th of November. I'm going to do content on that as well. So make sure to click the link in the description or on the right. That's going to be my second channel for that game. Hopefully you guys come and support me. And with that being said, please leave a like, subscribe, and I'll be seeing everybody in the next video. Peace out, agents.